Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome once again to Ringmaster Storytime. Thank you so much for tuning in before you turn in. I hope you've been having a great week. It's almost September. Can you believe it? Things go by fast. Hey, tonight it's going to be grand. It's going to be special. But remember, as always, if you enjoy this or any other content, remember to subscribe or like. That's right. It's just that simple. So come on, everybody. Let's get right into it. Tonight, we go to the Grand Opera. That's right, folks. We go to the Grand Opera with an American legend, a great voice. In fact, a voice of a century. Leontyne Price, Voice of a Century, by Carol Boston Weatherford, illustrated by Raul Colón. 1927 Laurel, Mississippi. The line between black and white was as wide as the Mississippi River was long. All a black girl from the Cotton Belt could expect was a heap of hard work. As a maid, mill worker, or sharecropper, her song most surely the blues. Yes, the Mississippi Delta cradled misery. But from day one, Mary Violet Leontyne Price heard a different refrain. Her mama Katie singing hymns, her daddy James playing tuba for the church band. The flock greeting praise songs with hallelujahs. Leontyne had plenty to be thankful for, a mama and daddy who made sure Leontyne had 2 pairs of shoes and knew she was as good as anyone, black or white. Their song of encouragement rose above the color line. Wasn't long before Leontyne was finding her voice, singing along to her daddy James's records and listening to the Metropolitan Opera's Saturday afternoon radio broadcasts. She soaked up the sopranos, if not the foreign words. Art songs and arias shaping a brown girl's dreams. Soon Leontyne was plinking a toy piano until she caught the performing bug for good. Her parents sold their phonograph to pay for a real piano and for lessons. At her first recital, her feet didn't even reach the pedals, but the songs came through her fingertips. Then, little Leontyne saw Marian Anderson, the opera singer from Philadelphia who was already studying in Europe, when Leontyne breathed her first solo. Marian glided on stage in a whoosh of satin. Her song, like a torch, sparked a light in Leontyne. The Easter Sunday in 1939, when Marian sang at the Lincoln Memorial after being barred from a whites-only concert hall, Leontyne was in the church choir praising God with her gift. A song of promise welled up in Leontyne as it had in young Marian. With her suitcase, she rode a bus to college in Ohio, aiming to be a teacher. The concert stage out of reach for a black girl singer then. Until the college president heard her solo and convinced her to study voice instead. Leontyne changed course. Led by song, she cracked the door that Marian had opened years earlier. And before long, Leontyne went to Juilliard. There she found her teacher, Florence Page Kimball, and her calling. But the door to Grand Opera would have to wait. First, Leontyne starred on Broadway in Porgy and Bess. On a world tour, her song rose to the rafters. When the curtain did rise on Leontyne's opera career, she took bows as Wild West saloon owner Minnie, as Cho-Cho Song
in Madama Butterfly and as Cleopatra, Queen of the Nile. She became the first black singer to star at La Scala, Italy's famed opera palace. Her songs scaled the six-tiered balconies and brushed the gilded ceiling. Yet certain doors her golden songs could not open. In America, some hotels, restaurants, and stages were still whites only. But television brought Leontyne into living rooms. Viewers saw that skin color didn't matter. Voice did. And her song was as regal as it was rich and rare. Leontyne was never more majestic than as Aida, playing the part she was born to sing. As the Ethiopian princess, with her skin as her costume, she expressed her whole self. Standing on Marian's shoulders, Leontyne gave the crowd goosebumps. The song of her soul soared on the breath of her ancestors. When Leontyne performed at the Metropolitan Opera House in 1955, she blew open the door that Marian left ajar. 6 years later, Leontyne landed her first lead role with the Met in Il Trovatore as a noble lady in a tragic love story. She got a 42-minute standing ovation. The song of roaring applause shook the walls. Roses at her feet and tears in her eyes, Leontyne bowed. She glimpsed the spotlight casting a shadow. She knew that shadow was not just hers, but her parents, teachers, and Marian's. Back in Laurel, Mississippi, songs of pride filled many a heart. The folks there were bowing too. Yes, the world-famous Miss Price could be all mink and pearls when she wanted to, rolling her R's like an Italian contessa, wearing Viennese hats and silk dresses from Rome. But off stage, she was just Leontyne, twisting all night long. Her song sure wasn't the blues. The end.
Oh, the glorious and grand voice of a century, the one and only Leontyne Price. I can almost hear her singing now. And that brings us to our second story of the evening. Oh, this one is going to be wonderful. In fact, this one is going to be out of this world. It gets a little dark. I mean, very, very dark. So I don't want you to be afraid. But if you are, just sit back, relax, and enjoy.
The Darkest Dark. Written by Chris Hadfield and Kate Fillion. Illustrated by the Fan Brothers. Chris was an astronaut, an important and very busy astronaut. When it was time to take a bath, he told his mother, "I'd love to, but I'm saving the planet from aliens." When it was time to get out of the bath and go to bed, he told his father, politely, because astronauts are always polite, "Sorry, no can do. I'm on my way to Mars." An astronaut's work is never done, so astronauts do not like to sleep. But their parents do. "You're a big boy now," said Chris's father. "You have to sleep in your own bed." And Chris tried. He really did. But his room was dark. Very, very dark. The kind of dark that attracts the worst sort of aliens. But his parents meant it. Chris was going to sleep in his own bed tonight. His mom and dad checked under his bed and in the closet and even in his underwear drawer. Dave declared the room 100% alien-free. They tucked Chris in, they turned on the nightlight, they even gave him a special bell to ring if he was nervous. They took away the bell. And then his father said something that worried Chris even more than the dark did. One more peep, young man, and I'm afraid we'll all be too tired to go next door tomorrow. But tomorrow would be a special day, a very special day. Chris had to go next door. His life pretty much depended on it. So Chris stayed in his own bed, without a peep. It took a long time to fall asleep, but when he did, he had his favorite dream. He flew a spaceship all the way to the moon. The next day seemed to last forever, but finally, when the moon was shining over the lake and the summer wind was ruffling the leaves of the trees, Chris ran next door. The house was already full of people, all gathered around the TV. The only TV on the whole island. Chris found a spot where he could see through the crowd, and what he saw was astronauts, real live astronauts, on the actual faraway moon. They were wearing puffy white suits and jumping for joy, jumping so high because there was so much less gravity there. The grown-ups huddled around the TV were amazed. Their whole lives long, they never expected to see this sight. Even Chris, who had been to the moon just the night before, was amazed. He'd never really noticed how dark it was there. Outer space was the darkest dark ever. That night, Chris did a little experiment. He turned off all the lights in his room, even the night light. It was still dark, very, very dark. There were still shadows that looked a little, well, alien. Nothing had changed, but Chris had changed. He'd seen that the darkness of the universe was so much bigger and deeper than the darkness in his room, but he was not afraid. He wanted to explore every corner of the night sky. For the first time, Chris could see the power and mystery and velvety black beauty of the dark. And he realized you're never really alone there. Your dreams are always with you, just waiting. Big dreams about the kind of person you want to be. Wonderful dreams about the life you will live. Dreams that actually can come true. The end.
Was I right? Hey, the dark isn't so bad at all. In fact, it can be pretty special. Hey, thank you all for tuning in before you turn in. Remember how special you are. Remember your dreams matter. And remember, keep the circus alive inside you.
a lullaby collection. It has been such a fully realized dream for me. As a result of this, we will be able to lull children into dreams of their own and make sure that they know that they're not alone. To listen to the voices make these songs come to life and infuse them with the energy and the love and the comfort is very exciting. That. All right. When the album is sold, the money that we raise from that album will go into the Baby Mind Project, which will then go towards helping children across Africa stay safe and well looked after and cared for.
The circus is a vast international community, and there's only one place to connect for jobs, events, the latest news, and so much more. circustalk.com. Join today.